Hey guys, here's another video. I'm going to be talking about millennials. So, all this week I've been thinking about where our generation stands, where we stand mostly in the United States, or the generation that is going to be in power. So, millennials are defined, depending on where you look, anywhere from 1980 to 1999. A generational study is broad. It doesn't cover everyone, and the things that people say, it's just the same group identity bullshit that you hear about any other subsect of society. So when you talk about baby boomers being dumb and tech illiterate, that's just the same as them saying, all millennials are entitled. It's just not the case. Anybody that you ask about millennials, you're going to get a myriad of responses. Most of them are negative. Almost nobody has anything to say that is good about our generation. We were entitled, we were self-centered, we were narcissistic, we were, lazy, didn't know what to do, failure to launch. The reason why is because our generation was defined by the Great Recession, the financial crash and housing market crash of 2007 and 2008. What happened there was the federal government deregulated a lot of the banking industry and encouraged banks to sell houses. Sell, doesn't matter. Sell. Hey, you got a minimum wage job? Here's a house. You got, you make $15,000 a year, and your brother does, and your mom does, and you guys are all in the same household. You could afford a $400,000 house, no problem. And so they'd lend it to you. That caused a lot of the problems that the millennial generation faces now, with a 5-year or longer delay in financial stability and in being able to go out and get on your own feet and get established in a job. You're starting that way later. The self-centeredness comes from technology. The self-centeredness of millennials comes from a dependence on technology and always being the center of their universe. People do understand that social media is not real life. It's because you don't see the bad. The problem with millennials being self-centered is that they don't have any reason to be self-centered or narcissistic. So it's one thing to feel good about your accomplishments. It's one thing to feel good about something you've done. But if you are just, I deserve it because I'm here, the solution to that, the solution to being self-centered is becoming self-reliant. Because that's when you learn your failures and your frailty and what you are actually capable of doing. So everybody wants to be an astronaut. Everybody wants to go to Mars, right? Like when Elon Musk is like, hey, I'm sending people to Mars. I know a couple people that signed up for that. They're on the waiting list. Like, I'm going to Mars. What makes you think that you deserve to go to Mars? What makes you think that you have the ability to do anything on Mars? Anything. What do you bring to the table? Because that's what society is. It is a group of people that, instead of you have to be a hunter, you got to be a gatherer, you got to know what kind of poisonous plants there are, you need to know how not to get killed, you need to know how to start a fire, you need to know how to build things, you need to know how to fashion weapons, you need to know how to fashion defense. Like, instead of all of that, we decide, like, hey, I am going to do what I'm good at, and you can do whatever you're good at. I think that the biggest problem with our generation, we're so worried about what's on TV, what people are saying about us, what people think about us, and it's all me. That's all it's about. Everybody's so concerned with what everybody else is doing or thinking or whatever. You should not care at all. There is an equation of life that you give equals get. That's what it is. And money is the equal sign, right? So you give something to get money, and then you spend your money to get whatever you want. That's how it works. And you can't have one without the other. You need to be a well-rounded, functioning person in society. You need to have both. I think that ultimately millennials are in a perpetual state of cognitive dissonance. And what that is it's like you don't know what to believe. You're stuck in between learning this, and it goes against what your regular beliefs are, and so you just what a lot of people do is, instead of self-reflecting and saying, hey, maybe I was wrong about this, or maybe I need to revisit that, or maybe I should change the way I look at things, they just reject it because there's 1,000 other people right at the touch of their fingertips that agree with them. The best answers are usually not one-sided ones. They're usually somewhere in the middle, where hopefully individual freedom reigns supreme, but safety nets can also be there for people that fall on hard times. I think that our generation is going to be all right. I think that we are very smart, we are very technically adept, and the people that want to make a change are more capable than ever before to do so. I think that our generation is more empathetic than other generations, and I think that is good, but it is going beyond the point of empathy. It is going to the point where you feel bad for somebody and that's it. Like, feeling bad is the action you take, and that's not true. You need to, the best way to help somebody is to teach them how to help themselves, so that way they are not reliant on you. The problem is people don't want to start at the bottom. Well, if you don't have any skills, you start at the bottom. That's the way it works. That's the way the world works. Nobody's going to be like, yeah, man, you're off the street. All right, let me see your resume. Oh, man, there ain't nothing on this. Oh, well, hey, man, just get in there in that boardroom and do your best. Like, now, you can build yourself into whatever you want. If you want to be a director, you can be a director. If you want to be a music producer, you can be a music producer. If you want to be a developer of new technologies, you can do that. It's just that it takes work. It takes doing things you don't want to do. And that's the problem, is that you want something without putting in the work for it. And that's where the give and the take come. You need to give to receive. You should stop comparing yourself to others on social media. You need to start comparing yourself to yourself and holding your own person accountable for your own failures. If you have a problem with drinking, or if you have a problem with smoking, or you have a problem with watching movies or not being able to put your phone down, you need to address those realistically and be able to say, hey, I have a problem with this. This is what I'm going to do to change it. And just because you fail at it, if you fall off the wagon, it's okay. There's always a new day right around the corner. Just pick it right back up where you left off. Try a little harder. Try to avoid the same trap that you fell in last time, and you will make headway. If you are not understanding a subject in school, try a little harder. Hit it a little bit harder or a little longer. There are ways to make it through your situation without having somebody come and save you. You can do it yourself. And that is where a lot of the millennials' problems face. The idea that you need mom and dad, or you need the government, or you need this to do something for you. You can do it yourself. And it's okay to change things up. And honestly, most management is willing to hear you out. If you have a better way of doing something, they'd love to streamline the process. But it still needs to be compliant with all the red tape, the state, the government, and all that stuff, which is So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off now. I will see you next time. And I think the next topic is going to be on abortion and why conservatives dislike Planned Parenthood. So, see you next time. Time to talk in front of the camera again. When you say somebody is narcissistic and they say, "Oh, well, I'm not a narcissist. There's no way. That's not me at all." That statement in and of itself is kind of narcissistic. Hey man, like I'm an Instagram model. That's what I am. Like I look good I take booty photos, you know? Like, nah. Say, well, I'm gonna be the next Steve Jobs and I deserve it because, you know, duh.